Okay, story time. On the day, the night that I had the craziest night of my life with my friends as we went out. So, I'm not much of a partying person. I got pregnant as a teenager. I just had the responsibilities being young with a child. So I never got to experience a lot of the life that people did. I also was I turned 18 like when COVID was happening, and so a lot of the life that people get to live, I didn't get to live. So now they have a little bit of backstory. In 2022, I had just lost my daughter in at the end of October, and we were living up in a northern town, and I was away from all my family and friends. I came back with my husband and my son, and we decided to just hang out. I was in a bad place. My friend had reached out to me asking if I wanted to go out and do stuff, so we went out and hung out for a few weeks doing stuff. And then one night, I had posted on a local group asking if anybody wanted to join us going to a hookah bar, because my friend really wanted to go to a hookah bar. I was like, yeah, okay, let's go do it. Mind you, at this time, I wasn't like very well off with money, so it was more so like, okay, well, we're gonna do stuff cheap, we're gonna whatever. Okay, so this one girl responded, let's call her Mary, and my friend, I will say her name because she finds this story funny, her name's Hannah. So Mary and Hannah, so they don't drive and I drive, and so does my husband. So Mary and Hannah, we decided, let's go out to the hookah bar in downtown, in the downtown area of where we live. So I don't like driving in the downtown area. It's very chaotic and not something that I like to do very much, because it always scares me that we're going to get into an accident. But this night I was like, yeah, let's throw all caution to the wind, have a fun night. So I decided, let's get all that green into me. So I was not sober while my husband was driving me. My young child was in the car. My son was in the car with us. I was not watching him. My husband was watching him. So that's not the problem here. Please don't judge my parenting. It was my night off because I had just recently lost my daughter a couple weeks previously. We drive across the city to go pick up my friend, pick up this girl, Mary. I've never met her before. We talked a bit on social media. I was like, yeah, let's go hang out. Cool. Add her as a friend on Facebook. All good and fine. So we're driving through downtown trying to get to this hookah bar. My husband was just going to drop us off, go home, enjoy the night, and then me and my friend were going to Uber back to my house afterwards, and then this girl was going to get her boyfriend to pick her up. Yeah, so we get into downtown, and it was crazy busy night. I think it was a Friday or a Saturday night, so of course it was like chaotic downtown. And we're driving by, and this guy, this like business owner type guy, he was all dressed in a suit, all nice and fancy, pulls out with his really nice car and hits the left side of our car while my husband's driving, because in downtown there's like one way traffic. So my husband was driving on the far left side of the road, and this guy was pulling out as my husband was driving past, not paying attention to where he was going. Not my husband, this other guy. So he ended up not very hard, but just like rammed into us just like lightly. Of course, I'm like, oh my God, my kid. I'm like, okay, well, that wasn't even hard. That was like more of like, oh, a little bump. So yeah, of course, I'm not sober at this point. Like, I'm not sober. So I get out of the car. My husband gets out of the car. This guy gets out of the car. He's like, oh my God, are you guys okay? I'm like, yeah, it was just a little bump. I look at the car, our, I swear they make cars like puzzle pieces. So my car, had just like popped out just a little bit on the side. And I'm like, okay, I throw my body weight into it, pops the piece back inside. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this car. He's like, okay, I don't want to go through insurance. And I'm like, oh, well, we don't want to either. He's just like, here, have $100. There's nothing wrong. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with the car. He's like, here, have $100, fine. Have your night out on me. And I'm like, oh, cool, thank you. So then we drive off. Not even 250 meters later, my husband's trying to turn right to get onto this road. And get down to the place where we're going. And so he slows down, getting ready to turn right. And these people behind us stop because, you know, like, you don't want to run into us. But I was watching in the mirror because I was sitting in the front. I was watching in the mirror, and all I see is this. I'm reminding you guys, I was not sober. All I see is this car just speeding past. And did not stop for the car behind us and ran straight into the car behind us. Loud bang, freaking dust everywhere. And I'm just like, what the heck? So, of course, I get my husband, like, pull over, pull over. I hop out of the car. I'm like, oh my God, what did that really just happen? Nobody else saw what happened, but I was the one looking in the mirror. And so this woman, it was a family in this car. It was an older woman, probably in her 70s, sitting in the passenger seat of the car in front that had gotten hit. It didn't hit our car because their car had stopped far enough back so that when it moved forward, it didn't hit our car. So I see this woman and she's just clenching her chest. The driver gets out, and then the driver of the car that hit them got out. Like, this car is like smashed in the back, broken glass everywhere. And I'm worried about this lady because she's just clutching her chest like she's having a heart attack or something. Like, she was like, did not look good at all. So I'm like, okay, let's call 911 because I'm scared that something might have happened. She might have hurt herself. You know, just be safer than sorry, especially since it was such a big damage and like you're supposed to call the police. So again, I'm not sober and I don't go downtown very often. So I'm trying to run around figuring out where the signs are. I'm like, where are the signs for the streets? Because they're asking me, where are you? I'm like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, I finally found this, the street sign, and I tell them. And so they get there real quickly, within like probably a minute of me finally telling them where it was. And it was probably about a minute and a half after the accident had happened. So that they get there, I'm like, this is what happened. The police were like, okay, well, there's not much we can do right now. Of course, you know, the police being the police. It was a weekend night. Like, of course they're not going to deal with it because it's not that big of a deal. I guess the ambulance checks her out. And she seemed fine. Because I was just worried about her. I gave the driver my phone number. I was like, here, contact me. The police didn't want any statements. They didn't care. I was like, oh, okay. And then, so whatever. We continue on our way down to the club. My husband drops us off. And we're like, okay, let's go have some fun. We get in there, and then we find out that we were supposed to pay, like, a cover fee. And I didn't really have any cash. So my friend Hannah paid for us. All the meanwhile, Mary and Hannah and my child and my husband are just like, what the heck is going on? I'm like, what the heck is going on? It's been a crazy night. So we get into the club. It was a hookah bar. We are enjoying our night, drinking, having fun. I was like, okay, well, we need to slow down on spending right now because I don't have all the money in the world to pay for like drinks upon drinks upon drinks. It was a good time, though. This was my first time in a hookah bar. My friend's been multiple times. And it was just a fun time, dancing and stuff. So me and Mary, the thing about Mary, she told us that she has seizures and that she had recently, gotten a procedure within the last few months to remove the thing that's causing her seizures, and she hasn't had a seizure recently, plus she's taking medication. So